Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most abundant and authentic path and nature. So for today's reading, I am really excited to offer this to you. My intention for this reading is for it to be a transmission, a download that helps you to align to your truest abundant nature, helps you to know what true abundance means to you, and helps you to know you're worthy of it, helps you to truly align to it so you can be perked up to the energies and guidance you need to manifest it in the physical world, and helps you feel hopeful and faithful that you are so worthy of your dreams come true, of your material needs being met and exceeded even. You're just so worthy of living in abundance. You're so worthy of living in a sense of freedom. You're worthy of not worrying about paying the bills, of not worrying about your needs met. You're worthy of walking through life with ease and flow and joy, and you're worthy of being able to have the time and spaciousness in your life to go after the things you really want and to create the things you really want to create. So that's really what is inspiring me to channel these messages for you today. So my prompt for today is: clean rich is the new filthy rich. Quantum leap into your abundant nature. And I'm using asters today. I love asters. They're one of my favorite flowers. Aster is actually the Greek word for star. The ancient Greeks burned aster to ward off snakes and evil spirits, and they symbolize hope and dreams come true. I want to read a little excerpt about the Greek goddess Astraea. So, according to Greek mythology, when the god Jupiter decided to flood the earth to destroy the warring men, the goddess Astraea was so upset she asked to be turned into a star. Her wish was granted, but when the floodwaters receded, she wept for the loss of lives. As her tears turned to stardust and fell to the earth, the beautiful aster flower sprung forth. So the aster flower is symbolic of stars. They are the stars of the earth in a way. And it reminds me of the star card, and the star card to me is your biggest dreams coming true, hope, and knowing that you're worthy of beautiful things happening for you. And that is the energy that I want to evoke in this reading. And then on top of all of this, I am going, at the beginning of the reading, I'm going to open up this amazing book. So this book is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And it is by Florence, Scovel, Shinn. And if you haven't heard of this book, I highly recommend it. It is a short read. It's an easy read. It is a woman, I think she wrote, I want to say it was like in the 1920s or something. She wrote this. And it's basically a book about manifestation. And every little excerpt in it is like a nugget of wisdom. So I'm going to read a little excerpt from the book for each individual reading. And I think that's going to help inform our reading. It's going to be a message specifically for you, whichever group you choose. And so I'm just really excited for this reading. So all of that being said, I look forward to seeing you in the reading. Go ahead and choose group number 1, group number 2, or group number 3, and I'll see you in a bit. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most authentic and abundant nature and path. So for today's reading, my prompt is: clean rich is the new filthy rich. Quantum leap into your abundant nature. Super excited about this reading. My intention with this reading is that it is a divine download to help you not only awaken to the truth of your abundant nature and your worthiness of it, but to align you in such a way that you are activated to take action in the world from a place of power and faith and be able to manifest and experience the abundance that you're worthy of. So if you want to listen more in depth and have a more in-depth description of what this reading is, go ahead and listen to my intro. Otherwise, we're just going to get right into it. So for this reading, for each reading, I'm reading an excerpt from this book, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. It is a beautiful book about manifestation that was written years and years and years ago. I think it was in the early 1900s that she wrote it. And it is just it's packed full of so much wisdom when it comes to abundance. And ultimately, I think the main message is surrender. There's this element of surrender to abundance where you're surrendering to a higher nature. You're surrendering to something that's greater than you, that knows better than you. You are putting it out there what you want, but you're trusting in something more powerful, more loving, more amazing than you can ever fathom to have it come to be for you. You're letting go of control. So I love that. That is my whole manifestation journey, is one of surrender. And I totally get when we can get to that point where we are frustrated and we're trying to make things happen and they're not. And the only way I can ever rationalize it or help myself understand is that God, the universe, knows more than me and knows what's going on. And there's a better way for things to unfold if I'd only let it and just surrender to it. So I think first I'm going to pull the overarching card I've got here. So I pulled an overarching theme card from the Akashic Tarot. I'm going to set your beautiful aster flower right up here and let's see what you got. So, ooh, yay, I'm totally down. 5 of Keys, wishes fulfilled. All right. So this is literally a card of abundance and freedom. I mean, look at this card. We have a kitchen full of, it's like a cornucopia. It's fruits and vegetables and bread and cake and flowers. And in the background here, we have, wine. There's like a wine cabinet. If you look out these beautiful open windows, there is just, it's airy, it's spacious, it's expansive. There's a coastline there. So, and there are keys on the table, and I actually love that there are 2 sets of keys. It's giving me this feeling of like a true home. It's like a couple lives there. And yeah, this is evoking such a beautiful energy. This is what's coming for you. This sense of home, the sense of expansiveness within your home. I love that there are spiral staircases, a spiral staircase going upwards. So it's feeling expansive outwardly and upwardly. So you are at the very least, you're manifesting a home, and you're worthy of a beautiful, expansive home in nature. You're worthy of overflowing abundance within that home. You're worthy of always knowing that you have everything that you need to feel fulfilled, nurtured, grounded, at peace, feel safe, feel protected. So this deck in particular obviously does not go along with the traditional tarot, because interestingly, it seems as though the keys are the pentacles. And this is the opposite of what the 5 of Pentacles in the tarot means. So what I'm getting from that is that in the place within you that you have felt lack, you have felt unfulfilled needs and wishes, you have felt feelings of scarcity, or feeling like you just can't get what you want, or you're being left out, that part of you is going to be filled with an inner knowing that you are so worthy of all of these beautiful, not only are you worthy, but it's inevitable that abundance in the material world be fulfilled in your life. And it's inevitable that you have more than enough all the time. You never have to worry about money. You never have to worry about your needs met, your basic needs being met, your bills being paid, you never have to worry about it. That is something you're worthy of, and that is something that's coming for you. And it has to do with your sense of surrender to something bigger than you, and your sense of surrender to the truth that that something bigger than you is more powerful than the material world, works within the material world, can reflect itself within the material world, and is activated through you and through the world around you. And you can exist in a realm of existence in the material world where all of these things are given to you and are just inevitable, and you feel safe in them, you feel provided for in them, it feels inevitable, you know it will never go away, it will always be this way, or be even more, grow even more moving forward. This is something we're worthy of, and I do believe that sometimes we grow up with projections of the world around us that have ingrained into us that this is just how it is. We're meant to struggle. Life, like when we look around us and see the political state, the financial state of the world, we look around us and see other people struggling. We look around us and see a world in pain, and we think this is just how it is. You are going to be existing on a different level from that. And you're going to be realizing that there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to be able to exist in it guilt-free, knowing that everyone is worthy of that experience of life, and that you bravely and boldly claiming it for yourself is a very powerful move that opens the door for others to be able to claim it for themselves. That opens the door for people who have not felt worthy to finally step into worthiness of their needs being met, and even more, of course, living in overflow and freedom and expansion and love and connection, all of that being available to you and to them. So, okay, so I'm going to open up to a random part of the game of life and how to play it, and see what your excerpt is, group number 1. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's an example. It's a story she wrote. And I'll leave it here in case you want to screenshot this. It's wide open. For example, a woman came to me complaining that she had no money with which to buy Christmas gifts. She said, "Last year was so different. I had plenty of money and gave lovely presents, and this year I have scarcely a cent." I replied, "You never demonstrate money while you are pathetic and live in the past. Live fully in the now and get ready to give Christmas presents. Dig your ditches and the money will come." She exclaimed, "I know what to do. I will buy some tinsel twine, Christmas seals, and wrapping paper." I replied, "Do that, and the presents will come and stick themselves to the Christmas seals." This too was showing financial fearlessness and faith in God. As the reasoning mind said, "Keep every cent you have, as you are not sure you will get any more." She bought the seals, paper, and twine, and a few days before Christmas received a gift of several $100s. Buying the seals and twine had impressed the subconscious with expectancy and opened the way for the manifestation of the money. She purchased all the presents in plenty of time. So with that story, there's a message here to act as if you are already abundant. Act as if what you desire is already coming true and it is inevitable. If there are little things you can do in the material world to prepare yourself for the abundance that you desire and that you deep down in your soul being know you are worthy of, then do them. Continue to do them. Continue to walk this earth as if abundance is reality and as if these things are inevitable to come to pass. Stand in your faith. Stand in the truth of it all. There is a message here to continue to relentlessly, the word delulu, like stand in that feeling of delulu, that feeling of just, I believe, I trust radically. And I continue to walk forward knowing that all of these things will be met. If you've lost hope, or if over time the thing you have lived that way and over time they just never came to pass and you've lost hope in that strategy, there's this message here to keep doing it, keep going forward, knowing that all of these things will be met. All of the things that you hope for, the financial abundance, the home, the travel, the whatever it is that you're dreaming of and that you need even, know that they're already met. They're already met, and walk towards them as if they are. Release any worry or guilt, release any shame, release everything that stands in the way of you experiencing the truth of your own abundance. It is truth. It is divine law. And there's a relentlessness here. There's a ferocity here. There's a feeling of, you know what? I'm not going to let, I've come this far and I'm going to keep going, and I'm not going to let any sense of hopelessness or any negative thinking get me down. I'm not going to fall into those thoughts of, well, maybe it's just not meant for me. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to continue to seemingly delusionally believe in what I'm worthy of and walk towards it and act as if it's already true. There is a message here to remind you that all of the beautiful actions you've taken thus far have not been for nothing. And even if you've lost some faith along the way, when you were in a state of faithfulness, and you were making powerful decisions from that place and walking towards abundance from that place, those haven't been lost in any dips you've taken or any downward spirals you fell into where you lost hope. Nothing has been lost. Everything is adding up and building up to this abundance that you're worthy of and that you're walking into. Yeah, I think that's the main message. So I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Prairie Majesty and see what else comes through. I am so proud of you. Your spirit guides are so proud of you for how far you've come. No matter what steps you've taken, even if this is your first step, your spirit guides are so proud of you. You have found your way to this reading and you are listening to these words because you are ready to hear the message that you are so worthy of living the life of your dreams. If you don't go after your dreams, who will? It's for you. If you have any inkling or any feeling of hope at all towards a dream on your soul, please walk towards it. Please, no matter how long it takes for it to come to fruition, don't stop walking towards it. Even if you only make one step towards it per year, it will come true. Okay, so we have stalk. Yeah, exactly. Stalk your dreams. Like walk towards it, hunt it down. Don't give up. With fierce determination, continue on this path because it is meant for you. It is inevitable. It says, is my pursuit both honorable and focused? Mountain lion, the stalk. And then we have, yes, like seriously, you are in the building of your dreams right now. We've got beaver with build, and it says, what am I integrating? So I think we've come to this new threshold. I would say most of you have been on an abundance journey for a while now, and you've been slowly and steadily walking towards the life you're creating for yourself on your own terms. And there's this feeling of hitting a new threshold where we have come a certain distance. We've done a certain amount of work, and it's time to break free from an old way of being and patterning, because it's time to up level. It's time to take a step up. It's time to, I keep seeing floodgates breaking, like a dam, like beavers build dams. I'm seeing a dam being broken and just plowed through because of flooding or something like that. Something's breaking through, and then there's, I don't know, it's maybe with the new fresh water, more fish come, and there's more of a current, and the beaver needs to, okay, now I need to my old house and the way I was doing things and the way I was building things before isn't going to work with this new current that's going on and this new amount of fish or whatever it is. And so the beaver is going to take stock and reorient itself and figure out how to build a dam that's going to accommodate the new situation. And the fish could be representative of money, of abundance, of nurturing, just something that's nurturing and some like sustenance. So there's this feeling of there's an opportunity for more abundance to flow through. So if anything in your life is changing or crumbling and it's a little bit scary, just be aware that it's because there's like a bigger net you're meant to cast, so to speak. Like there's something greater that's happening for you where you're just going to be working from a higher vantage point and you're going to have a higher level of opportunity in your life that you're working with. So it's not more work, it's just different work. It's coming from a different energetic space. It's coming from a different perspective. It's coming from different circumstances. So you're able to adjust and just move forward in a little bit of a different way. And it feels better. It feels lighter. It feels freer. So yeah, really beautiful. I'm going to keep pulling some oracle cards. Let's see what else we get. I'm getting the feeling that this next phase of your life, whatever changes are happening around you or within you, you're going to have a greater sense of belief in your abilities to manifest abundance in the material world. It's like your belief in your sense of like magician power, like the magician card, like that knowing that I can, through my voice and my will and through what I have in front of me, I can speak something into existence, and I feel it so very viscerally it feels very physical. Like I know I'm manipulating the physical world and I feel qualified to do so. I feel surrendered to a higher guidance system within it. So I trust where I'm going, and I trust that all of the elements are all lining up to create this thing happen for me. And I'm along for the journey. I'm here for the ride. No matter what adventures, no matter what surprises, I'm ready for it. I'm open. Okay. So we have staying focused. Again, you have the word focus again. Right here is my pursuit, both honorable and focused. And then we literally have, and I just said magician, and this guy is a magician. Look at that guy. So staying focused, hold the course. It says, yeah, keep going. Don't give up. You're almost, it's like you're at a new threshold. Push through this next threshold. It might seem a little chaotic and whirlwindy for a moment, but keep going in faith. Impasse. Okay, reflect and redirect your energy. It's kind of reminding me of that dam, mentality of like a beaver whose whole entire way of being and feeling secure is just broken down. And he has to rebuild his entire home. But once he rebuilds it, he's in a completely different situation where there are more fish and he's living in this massive abundance. And his new home is built to withstand any level of current. And yeah, so it's kind of that feeling. And it's strange. Like I've been thinking, like I think I heard a phrase in the last day or so, and this is like a squirrel here, and he's hit a wall, and it says reflect and redirect your energy. And there was this phrase, and I'm gonna butcher it. I just know that the meaning, the message that was in it, it was some people, they see a wall and like a brick wall and they think they need to turn around, and others realize that they can they can climb the wall, and they can get creative and find something to lift them over the wall, or like they don't see the wall as something that's blocking them. They just see it as something like reflect and redirect. How are we going to get over this? Well, we need to think about this. There's a way, you know? And so, yeah, this is a moment of shifting. This is a moment of redirecting. This is a moment of awakening to what's really going on, and not giving up on the ultimate goal. It's a small shift. Okay, so I'm going to pull some tarot from the Wildwood Tarot. These felt very earthy and tribally and grounded, and I just felt like that was in keeping with an abundance reading and like earth element. I really wanted earth element to be present during this reading, because I want to connect your energy to the earth and like the abundance of the earth, and the recognition that spirit and earth are working as one within you, and you're a part of all of that, and you're so worthy of all of that, and you're such a powerful creator, and you can create the world of your dreams around you. You get to choose. The world around you doesn't get to choose. It's like, and something I believe is that there are two worlds. Like, I mean, there are more than two worlds. We are existing in universe upon universe. Like, one person over here on this side of the earth is existing in the most horrendous, you know, conditions. And another person is living in like, we're heaven and hell on earth, basically. And so this is our choice. This is our, like, what are we doing with what we're given? What are we choosing into? And there's this feeling here of, are we going to participate in the fall of the old? Like, I'm thinking of like capitalism falling, and I'm thinking of the patriarchy falling, and my understanding and my feeling of what's happening right now is like, and I saw someone quote this in like a comment somewhere, but they said like, this is the last gasp of breath of the patriarchy. And I believe that's true. So we're watching, even though it's like something clinging to stay alive in its last moments, we're watching that take place. And it's like, there's so much fear there, and there's so much like uncertainty there. And all the while, there are other people existing in the building of a sustainable, beautiful, more harmonious, more human world. And so what world are you going to be a part of? Are you going to be a part of that fear-based world that's falling apart and that's inevitably going to die anyway? Or are you going to be a part of the world that is going to be built on peace, on harmony, on like honor for the human life and honor for the earth, you know, like that's the world we're participating in building. And so that's coming from a place of faith and trust. And by no means is it bypassing anything. I looked up and it said 25-25 on the camera timer. But by no means is it bypassing what's happening. I mean, this is the most loving thing we can do, is show up and walk in peace and live our purpose and do something, create something beautiful in this world that is to be partaken of by other human beings, and, you know, to create more safe spaces, create more love, create more beauty, so that people can have those spaces to dwell in, and let, like, focus on that. That's the thing we want to thrive. So, okay, so your tarot so far is, we have the Three of Cups with joy. I love that. The Four of Bows, or the Four of Wands with celebration. Wow. Wow. The Three of Wands with fulfillment. You're really walking into a beautiful, and absolutely beautiful new beginning in your life. And it's one of togetherness. It's one of being connected to a community that feels expansive, that feels abundant, that feels free, and that is very purposeful in their intentions with what they're creating and building in the world. And they're very aware of their worthiness of experiencing good, and they're rooted in their sense of goodness. And They know that we have a lot of work to do on this earth, but they're willing to do the work, but they're also not willing to fall into a matrix of fear around some of the things that are happening on this earth. Yeah, and like hopelessness or fear, they're unwilling to exist within that sphere, and they're more always existing in a more productive and solution-oriented mindset. So King of Cups and Seven of Arrows, which is the Seven of Swords with insecurity. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups with, this says ecstasy. The Five of Cups typically is a rough card, but in this deck, it is a little bit, it's kind of like that Five of Pentacles energy. It's like the opposite in the deck. That's so amazing and beautiful. I'm seeing the flip side of something in your energy happening, especially with both of them being fives. Five is about change. So I'm seeing something happen in your being where there was once a void, now there is nothing but we've got wishes fulfilled and ecstasy. I mean, and this woman is dancing. She's in her power. She's standing in her trust in the divine, in the trust in her spirituality. She is in her life and in her light, and she knows who she is. She is free. Just beautiful. Like, you're walking into such a beautiful phase of your life, an expansive phase of your life, an emotionally fulfilled phase of your life. The one card that we could even at all look at as, quote, negative would be this Seven of Arrows, this insecurity card. So the first thing that I'm feeling with this card is like a vulnerability, like entering into a new space in life, and this vulnerable part of yourself that once had like an overtaking. Like, I guess I'll show you the picture, and that's why it makes me feel like vulnerability. There's a woman here, and she has arrows sticking out of her, and she feels like she's kind of like, sorry, it's not focusing. There we go. It's like a hopelessness and a feeling of being lost, a feeling of feeling overcome by her environment, and everything's kind of like overtaking her. And the first thing I thought of was, when you enter into this new community, in this new space, in this new energy in your life, this new sense of abundance, and seeing it reflected back to you, there's this feeling of being vulnerable, and that part of you that used to overtake you is now just so seen and held with love that it becomes something that feels so small and so manageable. And it doesn't have such a hold on your sense of your own identity. So whatever insecurities you've been walking through in the past phase of your life, whatever feelings of hopelessness or shame or fear or a low self-worth or lack or whatever it may have been, this is going to shrink in the light of all of this love and community and abundance and freedom that you'll be existing within. And it will be manageable. It will feel like you have a hold over it finally. Like, it's not something that is a part of like your identity in this integral way. It's something that's just a blip in your existence. It was just a small bump in the road, and you can finally see it that way. And now you're free, and you're existing in, I mean, the Five of Cups typically is about extreme disappointment and sadness and regret and shame. And this is, look at this woman. I mean, she's free. And the word that is going to replace that feeling and those energies is ecstasy. Ecstasy. Like bliss. that's amazing. Like pleasure, like experiencing a pleasure-filled life, a blissful life, a free life. Someone's got to do it. Why not you? So, and I do think it has a lot to do with community, like with the 4 of bows and the 3 of vessels, the 3 of cups and the 4 of wands, and you can see the cards here. I really do think new people coming into your life, or yeah, just people in general, and feeling like you're in a community that supports you living your highest and best life, and there's no jealousy, there's only upliftment. Anything you do and succeed to, they are so happy for you, and they're lifting you up even higher and supporting you as far as you want to go, and they see you for who you really are, and yeah, you've got such a beautiful next phase of your life. You just do. I'm going to pull some cards from the Tarot of Oneness now. And see what other messages want to come through for you. If you walk into this new phase in that sense of, with the 7 of Arrows card, the insecurity card, like if those insecurities feel like bigger almost at first, or unearthed or exposed, and it feels very uncomfortable, bear with that. Remain focused, hold the course. Like that's going to be the shortest, like you're going to get over it very quickly, because you're going to just experience what true acceptance and love feels like. And it's going to just very quickly disintegrate and diminish and reveal what lies are being told by your psyche sometimes, or by a wounded nervous system, you know? Okay. All right, we have the Empress. Abundance, family. In this particular, it's the elephant, the mama and baby elephant, and it makes me think of family and community. Of course, elephants are very community-oriented beings and such loving beings, and the Empress is that feeling, like this wishes fulfilled card. You are living in luxury, whatever luxury means to you. That doesn't necessarily mean, you know, like what it means to what a lot of people think it means. Luxury could mean like a small cabin in the woods with a wood burning stove, and just, you know, it's what luxury means to you, what makes you feel free and satiated and pleasure filled. That's where you're going, and I'm giving you permission to walk towards that, and permission to accept that for yourself. The Moon, interesting. There was a weird feeling when the Moon card came out of like my mental faculties were like, oh, the moon, not what I expected, but like my instinct and my soul was like, of course it's the moon. Of course the moon is here. And so I'm curious what that is. Another major arcana. Wow, we have the Star. And okay, so your 4 cards that I pulled from the Tarot of Oneness are all major arcanas. This is like a major change in your, and I'm telling you, it's a material, in the material world, like your environment, your sense of luxury, your sense of abundance, your sense of what you have to provide for yourself and your family and the ones you love. And like, it's changing, it's shifting, it's completely, and like the moon is about things unseen, things happening under the surface of things. And it feels like there's something really beautiful happening in your soul right now, where all parts of you are finally on board with this abundance coming into like actual fruition in the material world for you. So, because sometimes the moon feels a little like scary and like shadowy, but like there's something here, like with this illumination going on within you, that feels very fertile and juicy, and like everything's aligning. And like if you ever spent time outside at night and just like looking at the stars in the summer, and it's like a warm summer night with fireflies and crickets and the moon and the stars, it's like that is what's going on in your being right now. It's like something so beautiful is being illuminated under the surface, and it's all just working in harmony, and there's nothing scary, there's nothing lurking. You're safe, and the shift is finally all coming together. So the Tower card is about things crumbling, like the things that made you feel insecure in your life. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Wow, I mean, I didn't mean to say insecure, but the things that made you feel secure in your life, that weren't serving you, or that are just ready to be let go of, are ready to just be released. They've served their purpose, and they're just, it's time to move on. Things are crumbling away. Things are burning up, really, and you're okay with that. And there's this feeling of letting go. It's reminding me of the Tower card right now is reminding me of a dream I had where someone was setting fire to my car, and for some reason I was just like, fuck it, it's fine, get rid of it. And it was like this acceptance of, you know what, if that car is meant to go, like, it's meant to go. And in the dream, the car didn't end up burning down. And so it's almost like this complete, like, I don't even care, like, not that you don't care, but like I surrender all of this up, and if something's meant to stay, then it will stay. And I will take heed to that, and I will carry it with me. But if something's meant to go, thank God it will go. Like, we are in complete surrender. There's a message here with the Star card to dream really big, and to remember some dreams that you might have put on the back burner and bring them back into your heart, because they want to come with you into the next phase of your journey. Any visions you've had, any feelings of, oh my God, it'd be amazing if that would happen, or like anything that you've cast aside because over time maybe they hadn't come true. Revisit all of your dreams, and make sure you don't leave anything behind that's meant to walk forward with you into this next phase. So, okay, I'm going to pull a couple cards, maybe 3 from the Animal Apothecary. Woo! Oh my God! You got number 39 with Better Than You Can Imagine. There's a fetus here. So some of you could be wanting a family one day, or wanting to have a baby. I did think that with the Empress card with the baby elephant when it first came out, and I didn't say that, but now that there is a fetus here, I do want to mention, if there is a family you're wanting to have, or a child you're wanting to have, there's a message here to not give up hope on that, to know that it is possible for you, and not only is it possible, it is destined. There is a way. So there's a soul being, a soul child being that's meant to be in your life as family, and in whatever way there is, but ultimately there is a surrender of how that shows up and how that comes about, and opening your eyes and mind to the knowing that whoever this soul is, it's meant to be your child, and just being open to how that person, that being, comes into your life. So of course, that can mean a plethora of things. For some of you, that can mean being open to adoption, or IVF, or even if it's like an inadvertent way, it's a niece or a nephew that you help to parent. Something, it's just being open. You're meant to be like, and this is obviously not all of you are going to resonate with this message, but this is for those that do. You are meant to be a parent, and you just be open to how that comes about, and where that role can be filled in your life, or how you can fill that role in your life. A couple more of these. We have Let Go, Bury. Yeah, there are definitely some things we're leaving behind for sure. There are things we're keeping, and we're kind of like taking stock right now. Like and this is number 17. Number 17 is the star. Again, very strong star symbolism here, especially with the aster flower, of course. But yeah, there's just this feeling of it's time to let go of there's a lot of stagnant things. There's a lot of things that have they're way past their time, and just bury them, let them become that like mulch, let them become that like nutrient for the soil of just the fertility of your life, and just let them go, and trust that this is how it's meant to be, and everybody's gonna be okay. And Small steps, big accomplishments. Yeah, and it feels like stay connected to the day to day, stay connected to the little steps that are getting you where you're going. It's kind of bringing me full circle right now to that beginning message of staying focused, and with the game of life message that came through of like, continue to act as if these things are happening. And if any little step comes in, like next step that you could potentially fulfill, that would continue to like reinforce that belief in yourself and in the world and in the universe that this is happening, then do it. Even if it's the smallest thing, like getting rid of a few things, or like downsizing, if say you want to move into a new place, or you want to travel and you know eventually you have to, this is kind of happening for me. Like, I know I need to start downsizing, like start giving things away, figuring out what I want to keep, put things in a tote, like kind of like downsize and get things going. And but like, what else could there be? Like, put in applications for like little things you can do to move forward with. Sorry, I keep taking examples from my own life. Like, cause like part of me, at one point I was wanting to get, and I still am, I'm still open to it, but getting permanent residence in Canada. And it's like, I've done these like little things to walk towards that, and like put these applications, these little like tests that I needed to get done, and it's like, I don't really know if this is going to happen for me, but at least I've got those like checked off the list, and that's my intention. So yeah, with that surrender, of course, as well. But yeah, take those steps, do the little things, just make those cues to the universe that this is what we're doing, this is what I want, and I don't know how it's going to come about, but I trust that it will, and in the most beautiful way possible. So, alrighty, I think this is it. I do have these Faceted Garden Oracle cards. Let me pull a couple of these too. I think I used all of my cards I have out. What else does group number 1 need to hear for their final message? We've got cactus. Okay. Ooh, whoa. Oh my gosh. This is interesting. We have cactus and thorns. And cactus have spines on them, and thorns. These cards are all, those would literally, I bet, are the only 2 cards in this deck that are talking about like spiky things. So I find that super interesting. And then pillar. Okay. I'm going to channel a message from these 3 cards and see, because this is very, oh, you know what? One more card. And bloom. Okay. This is very interesting to me, like the spiky things, and then pillar with bloom. Okay. Oh, okay. So there's a feeling of moving forward, and some of what you're doing in your assertion of your dreams coming true and the creation of your dreams, like creating waves in the world around you, and sometimes feeling prickly, I guess, in a way, to the people around you. That'll make sense how it makes sense in your life. Don't take it personally if you get any reflections back to you that are unpleasant or that aren't fully 100% supportive of what you're doing. It's just that sometimes when you make changes in your own energy and other people are used to you being a certain way, there's just like that initial like, who is this? Whoa, what is this? What's happening? Like, and you could take it personally, it feels like. And it's like, there's this feeling of, especially with pillar and bloom here, these energies around you, people, whatever, people watching you step up on, like with pillar, it's feeling like leveling up. And with bloom, it's like you're expanding and you're blooming into who you really are. They're going to watch you in real time do this. So there might be some growing pains and adjustments, because some people are stuck and they want to stay in their comfort zones and they're not used to change, or they don't, and then so when someone around them is changing in such a significant way or making big changes, it can just feel a little uncomfortable. And so just don't take it personally, like be compassionate with people and just have understanding for how they're perceiving you, and just stay in this bloom state though. Like it really doesn't feel like you're going to be turned or veered away from it. It doesn't feel like you could possibly be turned off of it, because this feels so like it's like time and you're stepping into this new era and there's no stopping you. It just, yeah, it's happening. So okay, that's it. That is your message. Really beautiful. I guess these are going to be pretty long readings tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored to channel these messages for you. This was really beautiful. And if you'd like to be supported by me in a more in-depth way, I do have a Patreon. So in my Patreon, I offer 2 in-depth pick a flower readings every month. And with one of them, I do offer an infinite prayer, guided visualization, and Reiki blessing every month. So they are really powerful and really potent. If you're interested in checking that out, there's a link down below. If you'd like to leave me a tip / buy me a coffee, I would be honored to receive any little bit to help support my dreams coming true. I offer infinite prayer sessions, which are, like I mentioned, the guided visualization and Reiki blessings, and they go off of different readings on my YouTube. But if you feel called to any of those, there is a link down below for that. I also sometimes offer in-person one-on-one readings or pre-recorded personal readings that are specifically for you. So check below to see if I have any of those available. I have really cute merchandise with the entirety of my bee and flowers logo, which it's much bigger than what you see in the YouTube little like thumbnail. And it's really beautiful, and it has the phrase "hello lovely human" on it. So super cute merchandise. If that sounds cute to you, there's a link down below for that. And then last but not least, I have another YouTube channel. It is called Soul Hearken. It's my heart and soul in video form. So thank you again. I hope to see you in another reading. Oh, I want to mention, I forgot to mention, if you could like, comment, or subscribe to my channel, that's really supportive and helpful for me as well too. So thank you so much. I appreciate your presence. Bye. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most authentic and abundant nature and path. So I'm really excited about today's reading. I am doing a reading with the prompt, "Clean Rich is the New Filthy Rich. Quantum Leap into Your Abundant Nature." So my intention for this is for this reading to be a download for you, a realignment within your energy field and your consciousness to help you step into the next level of abundance, whatever that means for you. And if you want a deeper understanding of my intentions around it and the meaning of the aster flower and a little bit more about the book I'm doing, I'm pulling an excerpt from, you can listen to my intro. But otherwise, we're just going to get into this reading. So for the book that I'm doing an excerpt from, it is called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. And a lot of people have already read this book or know about it at the very least, or know about Florence Scovel Shinn, but I don't know a lot about her. I just know, I think she wrote books in the early 1900s, and she wrote about manifestation, and ultimately she wrote about the surrender to a higher power within the manifestation process, and how when you put an intention out there, it's best to detach from it and let divine order create how that comes to pass in your life instead of trying to manipulate and control the situation. That's kind of what I took from it for the most part when I first read it. I'm reading it again. I read it like 6 years ago at the beginning of my whole awakening around scarcity mindset and realizing like what I've grown up with and how much I have to dismantle. And it was one of the first books I read around that time. And so yeah, I'm reading it again because I'm sure it will pack a punch once again and help me with the next phase of my journey. But yeah, so since I have the book out, I think I will do the excerpt first. So group number 2, let me find your excerpt. Okay, here it is. I'm just doing a random excerpt, obviously. So I opened directly up to chapter 8, which is a really good sign. 8 is the number of abundance. And the title of the chapter is Intuition or Guidance. And the quote at the top says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." There is nothing too great of accomplishment for the man who knows the power of his word and who follows his intuitive leads. By the word he starts in action unseen forces and can rebuild his body or remold his affairs. It is therefore of the utmost importance to choose the right words, and the student carefully selects the affirmation he wishes to catapult into the invisible. He knows that God is his supply, that there is a supply for every demand, and that his spoken word releases this supply. In quotes, "Ask and ye shall receive." Man must make the first move. Quote, "Draw nigh to God and he will draw nigh to you." Okay, so the first thing that popped out for me in this quote, and I'll actually like hold it here if you do want to screenshot it. So the first thing that popped out was, by the word he starts in action unseen forces and can rebuild his body or remold his affairs. So if there are some of you out there who are wanting to heal a part of your body, to heal an illness, to heal a part of your body that seems to be breaking down, or whatever it may be, it's just the physical body. By your word, you can heal your body. That's the message. I don't want to, by any means, I'm not a doctor, obviously, and I would, if you do have something wrong and you feel called to go to the doctor, then yes, of course, go to the doctor. And that might even be a part of that manifestation journey, but ultimately the message is that you can heal, your body can heal, and if you speak it into existence, these unseen forces will come on board and lead you and speak it into existence and follow those intuitive nudges. You will be led to the resources that you need, the people that you need, whatever it is, to find that healing. And then ultimately this message of man must make the first move. That's so interesting to me. So it's you acting on your faith first, and then God or the universe is the supply and responds to that faith. So there's like a responsibility in that. There's an acknowledgement of one's own power, and with great power comes great responsibility. That's kind of the energy that's coming through. Like, what are we creating here? Because one way or another, we are creating something. So we're getting into a mentality of, I want to take great responsibility in my life and what I'm manifesting and how I'm doing this thing and what I'm putting out there and how I'm choosing my words and my intentions. And I want to choose them with love, and I want to choose them with surrender to something more beautiful and more knowing than me. And I'm going to move forward from that place. So there's just a regrouping kind of feeling going on, and just, yeah, like a recognition of, wow, I have great responsibility here and I want to do this right because I am powerful. So really beautiful, lovely message right off the back for our reading. Gosh, I'm listening to this. I have headphones on and I'm listening to this healing nature, but for some reason I cannot stand it right now. It's like a bunch of birds all at once, and it's not working for me. Here we go. I'm going to click on a harp music. Let's see how that goes. It already feels so much better. Okay. Okay, so here we are. You chose this lovely aster flower, which is symbolic of hope, dreams come true, and they are called the stars of the earth. So they're like fallen stars, stars of the earth. To me, they are associated with the star card in tarot. And we're just going to set that right up there. And your major arcana, what I'm saying, your main theme card that I pulled from the Akashic Tarot, we've got the 5 of Roses with the garden. Now, the Akashic Tarot is not exactly the same meanings as the original Rider-Waite Tarot, because the 5 of Roses is the 5 of Cups, and typically that's representative of like sadness, but this picture in particular, it says the garden, and we have 2 little kids, and they're having fun, they're playing make-believe. We've got One of them with a magnifying glass looking at, you know, bugs and hopefully not burning the bugs. But I think just looking at a butterfly and seeing it more closely and just enjoying themselves, being curious. And ooh, the other, I think they're both kind of holding devices, like they're looking closely at things. Like it looks like he has like a telescope thing. And she has a magnifying glass. So that's interesting. I'm going to leave this here for now, and then I'll know more about the meaning of this 5 of Roses card sooner. But 5 ultimately is a number for change. So there's indication of change here. I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Prairie Majesty to get more context and see where we're going. The dogs are going nuts outside. Ever since I started this reading, the dogs have been going crazy too. Whew. All right, so you've got one of the cards, one of the very few cards in the deck that don't have a word or an animal or a being from the prairie. It literally just has the sun on it. I'm actually going to read from the guidebook just because these are such unique cards in the deck. I want to know what it means. So these are called celestial cards. The rest are more like, these are prairie oriented cards. So they're more earth element, you know, they're like animals and plants, but these are celestial cards. And you got the sun, and the energy of the sun here is external, extroverted, outward, visible, conscious, engaging, unavoidable, constant, steady, bright, intense, active, grounded, and physical. Okay. So again, with the word physical coming through, like in that intro excerpt I read from The Game of Life and How to Play It, there's something very physical and grounded happening in your being. It does feel connected to your physical body. There's a sense of like as within, so without. So there's this feeling of internal healing that is going to reflect itself like, it's like internal and external healing. It's like your relationship with your body and yourself and your relationship with the world around you healing and shifting and changing in a way that when you're through this portal of transformation, you're existing in what looks like the same world you've always been in, but it feels completely different and looks completely different and completely new. And there's a feeling of, how did I not ever see the truth of my experience? It's like, how did I not understand that whole time I was blind to the beauty and the love that existed all around me at all times? I was so wrapped up in my worries or my fears or other people's worries and other people's fears that I couldn't see the forest for the trees, or the trees for the forest. How's that phrase go? The forest for the trees. Yeah. So it's like the sun finally comes out in your life and casts light on what's always been there. And even with the two, like the two kids here that can, it's like they're looking at something a little more closely and seeing the truth of it and seeing the intricate details, the nuance to everything, and they're witnessing the fact that their life has always, well, for you, it's your life has always been beautiful. And there's so many things that you might have internally looked around and like kind of cursed in a way. I mean, not like purposefully by any means, but you know, when you're disappointed with something's not the way you want it. But there's, and it's similar to that message that came through with the Florence Scovel Shinn book. There's this feeling of looking, like taking great responsibility in your life and looking around you and just seeing the love that is there and seeing like the beauty that is there while it's there, and recognizing that you have such like a great opportunity in front of you to spread love to the world around you, no matter what your circumstances are. So it's an awakening to the inherent abundance of your life as it is and as it's always been to some degree, and the beauty in all of it. And through a transition and through a stepping into a next level of abundance that you're creating in your life, it's like this is a part of that process, is awakening to, it's like the fact fact that it's always been there. And that may be easier to integrate than you're expecting. Because I know like the first thing I think of when I think of like, oh wow, like I feel like I've missed opportunities, because if I'm now waking up to the reality that my opportunity to love and be loved and to experience life and the beauty within it has always been there. It's almost like, am I going to regret? Like, do I even want to awaken to it because I'm going to regret the way I've lived? But there's a sense of, no, you're not going to regret the way you've lived, because everything is exactly as it should be. And you need to know when you've walked in like a sleepwalk, you know, when you've been asleep, you need to be able to look and be like, wow, I was so asleep to all the amazing opportunities or beauty in front of me. And I know what that feels like now. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, it's just when you're on this higher plateau, you're able to experience the truth of it, and it's not as heavy as you expect. It's nothing to worry about. Okay, so your next card from the Prairie Majesty Oracle is Bison with B, and that makes perfect sense. How can I know myself as absolute? There is this feeling coming through of awakening to your life as it is being so beautiful, and just like having this feeling of, and I have had this feeling before, it's been very rare in my life, but where I've existed in this state of bliss and experiencing the beauty of life and just being like, wow, I could die tomorrow. I'm completely happy with everything that I've done up until this point. And like, no matter what happens, like I could die tomorrow and I know I did everything I wanted to do. Like, it makes no sense because at that point, rationally, I hadn't lived all my dreams, but I was in that state at one point. I know what that feels like to be like, I am happy with everything exactly how it's gone, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And it's beautiful, and I've fulfilled my purpose. Like, I know I've fulfilled my purpose, even if it's not some grand thing, or even if like my biggest dreams hadn't been realized in the material yet. It's like, I don't know, I feel you reaching that state of being. And from that state of being like, wow, and I get more time. I get more time to create beautiful things and experience amazing things and meet new people and travel or whatever it is. Like, I get more of it. Like, that's amazing. And it's like this not taking life for granted, not taking one single moment of life for granted. There is a renewal on life happening. Gorgeous. Awesome. I'm going to pull some cards from the Sacred Traveler. Yeah, the bison is just, making me think of, like, you know how bisons, like, they just hang out in the prairie land and they're kind of like slow and they're like grazing and they're like very beastly and heavy, but they're just like, they're of the earth. And it just feels like they're just very in the moment, and it's like complete acceptance and complete acceptance of where you're at, and just like reveling or relishing your life as it is, no matter how mundane it may seem, or may have seemed once to your own mentality, and now you're just like, no, this is amazing. Wow, I get to do this. So yeah, I love this. This is so perfect. Yeah, like, what better abundance than being so happy with your life just as it is, no matter what it is. We have, ooh, I mentioned travel, faraway places. Maybe some of you want to travel. So it says, get ready for new horizons. There's some, I don't know what language that is. It might be Chinese or Japanese or something. And there are these boats. It definitely looks like an Eastern country for sure. It's like a Southeast Asian country. So that could be like a little flag for some of you if you're interested in going in that area. Yeah, I'm gonna pull another one, see what else we get. We also have uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. Yes, I agree. Like, that experience that I was just explaining to you of like waking up to the beauty that your life just like is already. It's like this all exists inside of you. Like the abundance exists in your very being, and it just needs to be uncovered. I love that there's a dragon there too. I believe in dragons. So I believe that part of me believes that they were once real and they've been they've been killed. I mean, why not? Dinosaurs were real. Why wouldn't dragons be real? I don't know. But I do definitely 100% believe they are spiritual beings and protectors and powerful helpers in the spiritual world. And so I'm like getting this feeling of like dragon energy coming in. And ooh, like honestly, isn't like in China, dragons like a big thing? Like it's like a big symbol there. And we were just talking about like Eastern countries. So that could be somehow symbolic where you might be going if you're traveling. But anyway, ultimately, it really does just feel like this powerful protection in the spirit world. There's like with this dragon, he's got like a treasure chest and he's protecting it, and it feels like there's something that's meant for you that's like guarded. It's like so fiercely guarded by the divine that it's like no one else could ever attain what's only meant for you. I mean, we all have that, right? We all have that soul treasure that we're meant to uncover and we're meant to walk towards. And it's yours. It's already yours. It's always been yours, and no one could ever steal it or take it. Like there's no scarcity of it. It's meant for you. We all have that treasure inside of us, and that's meant for us. It's meant to be reflected back in the world around us. We each have our own treasure, and you know, no one can ever take it. And that's a really beautiful thing about humanity in a way. You know, there are people, unfortunately, that are probably running the world right now that are living in such a void, a feeling of lack, a feeling of so great that they are willing to do anything to make sure that they can hoard what they do have, which is only material possessions. It's complete soul loss. And so that's not something they've, you know, stolen from other people. That's something that's soul. That's a state of soul loss that exists in the collective consciousness of humanity that they are embodying as a part of our collective soul. And so they're not taking anything from anyone. It's just a reflection of our unhealed and wounded state. And we all still have that treasure within us and that abundance within us that we're meant to embody, and no one can ever take it. So that's just my explanation. So if there are those of you out there that have a scarcity mindset where it's like, maybe we're afraid to let more abundance in because we're worried we're taking it from someone else, or there's not enough going around. Maybe that explanation was just there to tell you that's not what abundance, how it works. So, okay. So, and the horrible things that happen out of greed in this world, again, are reflections of our soul wounds, and not something that, you know, like the repercussions of the few of us who do operate from greed and from that soul loss is so great, and I don't want to diminish that. Anyway, I don't really know where I'm going with that. There is this feeling of sadness for what is going on in the world, and how can I want to be and give and heal that. And it does almost feel like a hesitance to step into a good life because of so many people experiencing things that are even out of their control, that it was just like forced upon them to not have a good life, to suffer. And so there is that like inner harmony that wants to come through of like an inner acceptance around like you get to live a safe, good life, and that's okay. And that's what we're all meant to live. Like that's something that we're all worthy of. And in fact, for any of us to be able to make change in the world, we have to get to a place of security and stability. For us to be able to step in our highest degree of power to make a difference in the world, we have to exist in safety, security, and needs being met, and that material support and community support. And so there's no shame in that. So yeah, there's just a message about maybe looking at that inside of yourself and realizing that that's something you need, and that moving forward in your own sense of abundance and safety and security doesn't take away from anybody. It only gives permission for more to do it, and gives you the ability to make a difference in the world in a positive way. So, but that journey is your own, you know, that healing journey and that recognition of that is your own internal journey. And you can do it, and you can find that truth within. Okay, so I'm going to pull some tarot cards from the Wildwood Tarot and see what else comes through for you, group number 2. All right. We have the 7 of Arrows, or the 7 of Swords, with insecurity, which you've had some synchronicities with group number 1 so far. I can't remember. Oh, it was this one. Their like overarching theme card was a 5 card as well. And then they also got the 7 of Swords. So if you were interested in group number 1, there are some synchronicities, but maybe you're not, and maybe it's just because all 3 readings go together in some way. So Page of Stones or Page of Pentacles with the links. We've got number 1, the Shaman, which would be the Magician. We've got the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Bows, the 9 of Wands with Respect. The 10 of Bows is responsibility, which makes perfect sense. We mentioned that great responsibility that we have to be impeccable with our word and what we're creating in the world. I think there's like, this group is really my group that wants to make a difference in the world. This group, you are the people who, let me pull this last, number 8, the Stag, the Strength card. You are the group who really takes great pride and responsibility in your work, and you want your work to do something positive for the world around you. You want to create more security in this world. You want to create more sense of safety for people. You want to create safe havens for people. There is this feeling of wanting to, it could turn into savior complex a little bit. There is this feeling of like, gosh, I just wish I could save everybody on the planet. I wish I could like do more than I have the means to do. I'm so like, there could be a tendency to get lost in the needs of the human race and how far we've fallen, or how many people are out there suffering and how little help they're getting when they need it. And, you know, there could be a little bit of a tendency to fall into that kind of despair or worry or concern and get lost in it. There's this feeling, there's like a warriorship coming through, especially with the Stag card. If you kind of look at it, this is very much looks like a warrior, a fighter, someone who's ready for a battle. And there's this feeling here that you're willing to fight. You're willing to, and even from, you know, we mentioned that place of, I could die tomorrow and I'm okay with everything and how it's gone. And there is this feeling of, I'm willing to put things on the line for the people I love, for the causes I am so passionate about. I am willing to take risks to make change happen in this world. And I am willing to go after things that might be scary to others. So this is a part of my soul, this warriorship, this spiritual warrior. And this is something that you, I mean, this is a very specific message. So if some of you aren't feeling this or aren't ready for this, this might not be your reading, but there's this feeling of, I'm willing to do what it takes to fight for those who don't have a voice. I'm willing to put myself on the line for things. I'm willing to speak up when no one else will, when everybody else is scared to say something out of fear for their reputation or out of fear for their good standing with something. It's like, I am willing to fight the good fight and say the things that other people won't. There's a healthy energy around it. There's a feeling, especially in the beginning, that came with like, okay, I have to be responsible with this. I have to be strategic. I have to take great care in how I approach things. I want to move forward in a deeper sense of surrender to a higher being or higher guidance that's calling me forward. And I just want to be more impeccable with my word, is the feeling. It makes sense to me that the Magician is here, because you definitely recognize your power to create in this world and to make change. I think there's like a feeling of reconciling with the Page of Stones, the Page of Pentacles being something that's like this new endeavor, this kind of beginner energy with what you're creating in the world. And then we've got the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Wands, which are together. It's like this overwhelm, this feeling of, how am I to do this? This feels like such a fight, such a journey. And there's this feeling of, I'm willing to do it. Something that was coming through with the responsibility and respect, the 9 of Bows and the 10 of Bows, responsibility and respect. It's really a part of your soul to rise to witness the state of things in the world and to do something about it. So that's such an admirable part of who you are. And it's necessary in this world for people to activate this part of themselves in various ways. We all have our own way in which we confront the state of the world, and we decide to do something about it. And we step in our own power and our own voice and make waves and to create change from a place of love, from a place of justice and truth. There's a journey ahead of you here to exist in abundance, to exist and have your dreams come true. All the while you're fighting for those who don't have a voice. So there's this feeling of acknowledging your privilege, acknowledging that, yes, I do live in this abundant state, and I'm not going to take it for granted, and I'm going to do something. Like, I am in a privileged state where I can help, so I cannot live my life without doing something. And this is a part of your destiny. You're a powerful healer. You have a powerful voice and perspective. And you are needed in the world. Your gifts are needed in the world, and your passions, the things you become passionate about and you feel activated towards, all of that is like, you're needed in the world to be in that energy and to move forward in that energy and to take action from that space. So there's a like social justice energy. There's a creative force coming through. Even with the faraway places here and the new horizons, if it's not literal travel, there's a feeling of learning about different ways of being just through study. Learning about what's going on in the world through study. Listening to other people's voices, reading books from different types of people, or people who've been through things that are like harrowing or experienced different like parts of humanity and the wounding of humanity and been victims of that. Like like learning about people's perspective and where they came from, and how what's going on in the world has created a situation for people to suffer at the hands of something bigger than them or more powerful than them. So I love this because this is a reading about abundance. I mean, literally, my prompt is clean rich is the new filthy rich, which I love for this in particular, in this message that's coming through for you, because clean rich, like filthy rich, is like the energy of, as we were speaking, like the soul of humanity, and the greed-filled people who are, it's like the part of our collective soul that is filled with soul loss, is just not filled with anything. It's emptiness, it's soul loss. And clean rich comes with the responsibility to acknowledge your privilege and do something to help the rest of the world, and not just block yourself off from it and pretend like it's not happening. That's what clean rich is. So yes, of course you get to live in abundance, and whatever luxury means to you, and whatever overflow means to you, and your needs and dreams being met. Like, of course you get that. But from that space, you can only go so far before you look around you and you see the suffering of the world, and you recognize that you have the power to do something, and then you decide to do it. And that's even more richness. That's even more like giving to your own soul, because you're feeling like you're doing something to heal what is a part of you, which is the rest of the soul of humanity. You're connected to it. You can't, there's no blocking out. There's no complete disconnection from it. I think there are times when we're allowed to disconnect and go into our bubbles and heal and detach. But I think ultimately there's just this recognition that we are one. And so ultimately there will always be that responsibility to help heal, give, create safety for. All right, I'm going to pull some cards from the Tarot of Oneness. I love you guys. Thanks for stepping up. Thanks for, I don't know, like having the heart to do something about the world. This makes me so happy that I'm doing a reading for a collective, and like, so multiple people are going to click on this reading. And so if multiple people are having this heart to make a difference, I love that. And who are willing to do it. Not only have the heart, but willing to take action and do something, you know? And I'm a strong believer of, it doesn't have to be scary or hard to speak up or to do something to help the world around you. Like, activism can look beautiful and easeful and loving. Like, activism can be like knitting scarves for homeless people. And you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be this powerful, scary, like warlike thing, you know? It can be in whatever way that your gentle soul wants to go out, and like how you want to nurture people in your own community. Like, there's so many ways to be an activist, you know? There are so many ways to make a difference. And it doesn't have to feel like, you don't even have to label it as activism. It's just love. It's an expression of love, creativity, and passion. Wow. Okay. You got the 9 of Wands again. So there's this like resilience coming through. And for me, it really feels like this is a part of your soul. You have the knack to make a difference in the world and to face the kind of harder things. Some of you have the knack to be able to look at the scarier, harder things about and confront the truths of this world that are really hard to swallow. And you have that resilience and ability to take it in and channel it and shine the light of your own awareness onto it and take action from that space of awareness. Oh, you got the sun. Well, this is the sun card up here, and then you have the sun in tarot. I love that. The sun is about like vulnerability. So it's about living in your light and in your truth, and feeling like you have nothing to hide, and you're in your joy and your childlike energy. And there is, like, again, we're coming full circle with that feeling of bliss and that feeling of life is so beautiful, and I get to exist in this beauty and experience it in such a lovely way, and witness it, the fact that it's been beautiful all along. And so it's so beautiful the way that you are able to exist in love and bliss and the potential, like the highest potential of what being human can feel and look like, and weave in and out of knowing that and experiencing that, while also confronting and opening your heart up to other people and what they're going through, and seeing them as equally worthy, you know, and wanting to do something to help them achieve that sense of bliss, help pull people up to where you know they can go and what they're worthy of. You have a beautiful knack for it, to exist in such a beautiful balance and purpose. I think it's just purpose. Exist in purpose. We also have the Ace of Swords. Okay. So the first thing that like epiphanies, that's what the Ace of Swords makes me think of. What is the Ace of Swords telling us right now? And we've got this parrot here. And parrots mimic. Definitely curious. Well, with the Ace of Swords, a lot of times I think of like a white light, like a white or blue, like truth. But I love that this Ace of Swords card is so colorful. And it's making me think of the words colorful truth. Like the truth is more colorful. The truth is more nuanced. Like the truth about life is not black and white. And there's so much texture and nuance to being a human. And moving forward, it feels like that's what you're experiencing. You're more alive. And your sense of abundance is this richness of color and life and recognition of the amazing opportunity it is to be human, and the gratitude that you're going to be existing in, or you are existing in, moving forward for your life. And for no matter, like, it feels like it's eradicating guilt, it's eradicating self-consciousness, it's eradicating like lower level ego concerns. Like we're on a higher plane now. We're stepping up into a mission as opposed and into something we really care about that defies age, or like defies personality, defies reputation, whatever it may be. Ego concerns, and we're seeing life in a whole new way, and we could care less about things we used to be concerned, petty things we used to be concerned about. We could care less about it now. We're stepping into our power and into our light and into our truth, and in our responsibility to do something in this world to make it better. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Faceted Garden, and then that will be our reading. I love that there's a horse again on the Sun card. Horses are representative of freedom, and you, my friend, are existing in the highest form of freedom, where you are not only free as a soul being to experience joy and bliss and love and gratitude and togetherness and connectedness and freedom, and you're also, you feel so good within it, and in knowing of everyone's worthy of that state of being, and you're willing to fight so that everybody can know that and wake up to that and have access to that as well. That's the ultimate level of freedom that there is. Okay, so we got wild card. Oh, what the heck? Anomaly and wild card, those mean the same thing. And then for group number 1, there was thorns and cactus. And I'm like, what the, like, these are the two cards in the deck that could represent like prickly things, you know? And so that's just so funny. That's like a crazy coincidence, or synchronicity. But yeah, so we've got wild card, anomaly, summer, okay, and spade. Okay. So you're going to build something really beautiful in your life I'm feeling it like with other people. You're building something, and I think like I'm feeling very much like physical location. So maybe you're building like a healing center. I mean, these are just examples, like, but like a healing center, a retreat center, a shop, a restaurant, a bakery. I mean, literally it could be anything, but it feels very material, like with the spade, like going into the ground and the tree and the roots. There's a place, there's a location for what you're going to build in this world that's going to have roots, and it's going to be able to stand on its own. Like it's going to be its own entity. And anybody who's attracted to be a part of that, is going to have that pull and that calling. Like there's a calling here. And so that may be way further in the future. I'm not sure, but you'll be led to where you need to go. The people will be led to you. Like you're meant to make such a powerful difference in the world, and it feels very expansive, but also very like location oriented. Like we're going to root something down. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. Other than that, with wild card and anomaly, it is making me think of like, as you move forward with your passions and in reckoning with the state of the world, but also going after your own abundance and just living your life really. With wild card and anomaly, it's like, it's uncanny how this thing grew and how many people flocked to it to jump on board, and how this thing and this passion and this thing I'm creating, and how it had a life of its own. It took a life of its own, and literal people showed up to take care of it and to help it along. Like there's something really beautiful you're meant to do. And other people are out there, or maybe you already know them, that are ready to participate in this mission. With summer, I mean, the first thing I'm thinking of is like fecund, like fertility, like especially with the rabbits here. Like there's a fertility energy here. Like there's a storm here and a plant coming up, and I keep hearing like, well, I heard like this summer. So for some of you, like a first seed, even if it's the tiniest little seed, might be being planted the next summer that's coming up for you. Or there might be an opportunity for a seed to be planted next summer. That could look like so many different things. That could be like you're meeting someone who will one day be a part of something bigger with you and you don't even know it yet. Or it could be you're sharing your vision with an audience or with a person. It could be something you wrote and you put out there. It could be so many different things, but there's just like a seed being planted for this thing that you're going to build one day, this mission. I think I'm going to pull one more of these. Fountain with abundance. Like the word fountain to me is like abundance itself. There's a strong message here to take care of yourself right now and to slow down. Release and surrender all of your concerns and worries about the world, the state of the world. Let it go. Surrender it up and know that you're only one person. And I can reassure you now that you are someone who's going to make a difference in this world. But you have to take care of yourself first. And you're worthy of existing in flow and ease for most of your life. And while life as human, of course, will never be perfect, and you definitely know that of all people, for the most part, you get to feel safe, you get to feel secure, and you have to be a living embodiment of that because you're the inspiration. You're the inspiration for others to realize that they get to have it too, and that they're worthy of it too. Like, true justice is everyone feeling safe and secure and accepted and loved exactly for who they are. So you have to be a living example of someone who's experiencing that. So it's okay, it's safe to experience that, to take care of yourself, to partake of the abundance that's being offered you, because you're not taking from anyone else. And yeah, just, you're so worthy, just as everyone else is. So, alrighty, yay. Thank you so much, group number 2. This was your message. So beautiful. I'm honored to channel this for you. If you'd like to support me, I would love it if you'd like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. You can leave me a tip / buy me a coffee. There's a link down below. I also have a Patreon if you're interested. In my Patreon, I do 2 in-depth pick a flower readings every month, along with 1 infinite prayer, guided visualization, and Reiki blessing that is incredibly powerful and potent. There's a link down below if you feel called to that. I also have very cute merchandise with my bee and flowers logo, and it has the phrase "Hello, lovely human" on it. It's super adorable. You can check out to see if I have any personal readings available, or you can check out to see all of my infinite prayer sessions if you feel called to any of those. Lastly, I do have another YouTube channel. It's called Soul Hearken. It is my heart and soul in video form. I think that's everything. Again, thank you so much, and I hope I see you in another reading. Bye. Hello, lovely human. Welcome to the Little Flower Oracle. My name is Krista, and I deliver the messages and frequencies you need to align to your soul's most authentic and abundant nature and path. So for today's reading, I am really excited about this one. My prompt for the reading is "Clean Rich is the New Filthy Rich. Quantum leap into your abundant nature." So the first 2 readings were absolutely beautiful and surprising and unique, and I'm excited to see what comes through in this reading. We are using asters today, which are called the stars of the earth. Aster is the Greek word for star. There's a little bit more in-depth description in my intro if you're curious just in-depth intentions and description for this reading in general. If you're curious about that, please check out my intro, but we're going to get right into it. For this reading, I am reading an excerpt from The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. She is an author who wrote several books. I believe, I could be wrong honestly about this, but I believe it was in the early 1900s, about manifestation. And my main takeaway from this book is the surrender element of manifestation and the connection to a higher power element of manifestation. And, being able to decide what you want to create, but also surrender it up and know that how it comes to be is, it is not really up to you. It's better to just let a higher power organize things for you instead of trying to control and manipulate and lament when things don't go exactly how you want, So I really love this book. I definitely recommend reading it. It's an easy read. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sort through, and the first thing I'm going to do is read the excerpt I find for you. So I've opened up to the page of 83, and let's see. So we've got a story here. Okay, here it is. Okay. I kind of want to read this part too, though. It says, "Suffering is not necessary for man's development. It is the result of violation of spiritual law, but few people seem able to rouse themselves from their, quote, soul sleep without it. When people are happy, they usually become selfish, and automatically the law of karma is set in action. Man often suffers through lack of appreciation." That's super interesting, because actually in group number 2, I said something akin to that. That suffering is not necessary for man's development. It's a result of violation of spiritual law. And that's kind of what I said about, the results of greed in humanity and the destruction that can cause. And that doesn't mean because one person is greedy that there's not enough for everyone, It just means that it's a kind of a result of soul loss and a reflection of that. So that's interesting, but I do want to read this story here. Okay, so the story that's coming through for you, it says, and I will open it like this if you'd like to screenshot this and zoom in and read it later. But it says, I knew a woman who had a very nice husband, but she said often, I don't care anything about being married, but that is nothing against my husband. I'm simply not interested in married life. She had other interests and scarcely remembered she had a husband. She only thought of him when she saw him. One day her husband told her he was in love with another woman and left. She came to me in distress and resentment. I replied, it is exactly what you spoke the word for. You said you didn't care anything about being married, so the subconscious worked to get you unmarried. She said, oh yes, I see. People get what they want and then feel very much hurt. She soon became in perfect harmony with the situation and knew they were both much happier apart. A man came to me dejected, miserable, and poor. His wife was interested in the science of the quote, science of numbers, and had him read. It seems the report was not very favorable, for he said, my wife says I'll never amount to anything because I am a 2. I replied, I don't care what your number is. You are a perfect idea and divine mind, and we will demand the success and prosperity which are already planned for you by that infinite intelligence. Within a few weeks, he had a very fine position, and a year or 2 later, he achieved a brilliant success as a writer. No man is a success in business unless he loves his work. The picture the artist paints for love of his art is his greatest work. The pot boiler is always something to live down. No man can attract money if he despises it. Many people are kept in poverty by saying, money means nothing to me and I have a contempt for people who have it. This is the reason so many artists are poor. Their contempt for money separates them from it. Okay, so there are a couple stories here. I want to focus on the woman here. And there was a feeling of not appreciating what you have when you have it. But then at the same time, she came to terms with losing something because she realized that it was best for everyone and this is what we both wanted. The other story in here was about someone who had a label placed on him by an outside person and limited himself because of it. And she was telling him, no, this is already, like, success and prosperity are already planned for you by infinite intelligence. Like, I don't care what your number is, whatever that even means. I'm not sure what that means. Could be something with numerology. I'm not sure, but you are worthy of this and you can claim it no matter what external labels or external ideas are placed on you. It's kind of like astrology. Some people take it as gospel. I take it as the weather. If I feel called to do something and the astrology is against it, I don't care. Like, if I feel called, I will step up and rise to it. I will not try to force something into existence, but I will decide to do it. So yeah, the energy here is trust and recognizing what you're worthy of and taking matters into your own hands in a way and deciding on things. And if something falls out of your life, recognizing your part in it and finding acceptance for it and moving on. There's just like such an acceptance and a personal agency really coming through. So let's go ahead and see what your overarching theme card's going to be from the Akashic Tarot. I'm going to place your aster right at the top of your reading here. Let's see what we have. This is gorgeous. I love this. 2 of Swords, 2 of Forces. The cards in this deck, pretty much most of them don't mean the same thing as in the Rider-Waite, which I kind of have been loving. And I've kind of been taking the cards' meanings and taking both into account. Typically the 2 of Swords would be indicating an inner confliction. But I mean, come on, look at this card. The Willow. It looks gorgeous. It looks powerful. It looks flexible. It looks free. It's almost like an inverted definition of the 2 of Swords. It's like it's like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but I trust, and I'm going to allow myself to bend with the wind. And I know who I am. I'm rooted and strong in my roots, but like my limbs and my branches are free to fly and to bend and to mold and to allow the universe to shape. Like I'm allowing, that's the feeling, I'm allowing the universe to shape me, mold me, bend me, move me in the direction of where I'm going. But all the while, I feel so rooted and stable and grounded in my truth and knowing of who I am. So there's nothing that can hinder my progress or make me feel like I'm not on the right path, because I know I am. So it is kind of, yeah, like the Two of Swords being like this, I don't know where I'm going and I don't know what decision to make. This is like the opposite of that. So if you have been feeling an indecision, don't worry. This feeling is right around the corner. This surrender, this trust, this, and there's joy coming through. There's power and light and luxury coming through with this river here and the light shining and the bird flying. There's a sense of freedom. Some of you could be traveling or wanting to move. There is that feeling coming through in this. And then there's this connection of the cosmos connecting to the earth and something being grounded from a higher realm onto the earth. And so there's just something really beautiful happening in your being right now and on your manifestation journey. And my advice is to surrender and let go and trust like the wave that you're being taken on. So yeah, we'll start there. I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Prairie Majesty Oracle and see what else comes through. You're rooted, like you're strong, you're stable, all is well. If there's a lot of change happening around you, it's all for the better. There's a sense of trust coming through. Okay, we have so it says stink bug, of course. Stink bug with flip. And it says, how does the situation look and feel from a different view? So Hanged Man vibes, shifting our perspective vibes. Stink bugs have a personal meaning to me. I am not a fan. We have invasive stink bugs around here in the Midwest. But I'm moving away from the Midwest soon. So maybe there's something there. Yeah, again, with the movement thing, maybe I won't have to deal with those darn stink bugs anymore. But yeah, there's this feeling of seeing a circumstance in your life from a higher vantage point or from a different vantage point moving forward. But let's keep going because I'm not getting a huge overarching message quite yet. So we've got warble. Am I singing my song? And then apparently this animal, this bird, is called a... Shut up. What? Is called a dick kissel? I'm gonna Google that one because what? No. I'm gonna look it up in the book. Oh my God! No way! Look, I just opened it up directly to the dick kissel. Dick sissel, like a dick sickle. No. Okay. Anyway, so to dick kissel, all the grasslands are a stage. Audience optional. As he sings his own name, his head bobs, rising as though he's a jack in his throat. What is the melody yearning to come through you? Remember, creating is the energy of life. When Dick Kissel shows up, the question is not whether to engage with it, but how. In composing your own song, what keeps it true? Dick Kissel encourages you to create for yourself first and foremost. Okay. Like so far, the vibe, like it feels really chill. Like it's so chill that I'm not getting like really strong messaging yet. The energy is like, I feel like I've been blowing in this beautiful, gentle breeze on a warm summer, like evening, like at sunset. Like my energy's just blowing around in it and dancing with it. And that's the vibe. So whatever transition you may be walking through, whatever you may be leaving behind or walking towards in your life, on your abundance journey, on your manifestation journey, there's this feeling of this transition, this change gets to feel good. And it can feel good, and to start opening your eyes and mind to the world around you and to how worthy you are of feeling good and seeing the good in every single moment. And yeah, it's just feeling very nourishing and pleasurable, really. So like a pleasurable change is what this feels like. Alrighty, I'm gonna pull some tarot from the Wildwood Tarot. Oh no, I forgot to do the Sacred Traveler Oracle. I saw a woman shuffling cards like sideways like that, and I wanted to try it, but I'm not as good as her. I don't know how she does that, but I'll do it my way. Well, it did say, yeah, there is a feeling of doing things your way, going your own. You can go your own way, and then like that, yeah, that I did it my way. Like those two songs, literally just. And then this is like, am I singing my song? Aw, and warble. That's cute. So yeah, music, dancing, flow, freedom. Like there's just such a lightness coming through, and I think there's this feeling of creating abundance in your life in a fun way, and just being so stubborn about like, you know what? No, I'm going to live my life the way I want it. And freedom looks a certain way to me, and I'm going to walk towards that. And I get to live freely. And I don't like, there's a chucking away of external expectations, societal expectations. There's just this feeling of, if I'm not meant to live freely as myself, in my highest state of being, in my joy, in my love, in my color, in my light, then what is the point? And I'm not caring anymore. So if other people have an issue with the way, like if they see me and the way I'm moving forward as like irresponsible or childlike or childish, you know, it's like I just can't like contort and morph myself to fit society's standards any longer. And I'm going to allow myself to be moldable and changeable, but for myself. Okay, so we have, yeah, like choosing your path. Like you're choosing your path. There's, yeah, again, and with the Florence Scovel Shinn excerpt, mainly it came through with personal agency, admitting what you want, walking towards it, and accepting when things fall out of your life when you never really wanted them in the first place, and just recognizing that you get to have what you want on your own terms, and no external forces can take that from you. All is possible. Like you can totally just expansiveness, open yourself up to the possibilities. And there's just such a feeling of, I know who I am and I know what I'm walking towards. And there's like this blanket of expectations you've just been allowing to weigh you down and get you down. And it's like, I'm just throwing that out and throwing it away. And I'm just being like, nope, I'm doing it my way. I know what's best for me. And it's like, why am I going to take heed to all these voices of people who are unsatisfied with their own lives and who feel boxed in their own lives and limited in their own lives? Why would I pay heed to their expectations or their understanding of what my life should look like? That makes no sense. No logical sense whatsoever. We have miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge. And this is very like Aladdin-like energy here with the lamp. And it's like magic is coming out of this lamp. Like, what would you wish for? What would you be your highest ideals and your greatest dreams that would come true? Because you're worthy of them and they're possible. And miracles can unfold before you to make things happen for you. Like the universe, like your higher power, God, whatever you kind of subscribe to, like is conspiring to make beautiful, amazing things happen for you. And there's this question like, are you brave enough? Are you what's the word? Like, willing, like, are you willing to step into your color? Are you willing to step into potential? And are you willing to truly believe in magic? Because it's real and it's possible, and you just have to step into it. All right, I've got a kitty wanting in, so I'm gonna let her in. Come on in, sweet girl. All right. We are blessed by Winnie's presence today. This is the first reading she came in on when I'm talking about magic and fun, and that is who she is. So come on up, baby. Come on. Come on. Yep. All right. So she's going to be here for a minute, and then she'll leave, of course. She only stays for a little bit usually. But okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull cards from the Wildwood Tarot and see what comes through for you. But you've got such beauty ahead of you, and like very like artistic, colorful, free spirited energy, fun, play, lightness, adventure. Like you are such a unique, powerful person, and you deciding that you get to have fun in your life is a force. Like it's a force for good in this world. We need more people that are willing to do that. Let's just say no, like fun is an integral part of life. Okay, so we have the Nine of Cups with generosity, which makes perfect sense for you. Nine of Cups is about, oh my God, it's like literally this, all of this energy I've been talking about, like embodied. It's emotional connection and fulfillment. It's feeling emotionally free and light, and it's like feeling so contented within your own energy body, your emotional body, like feeling that reflected back to you in the world around you, and supported by the people and the world around you. All right, sweet girl. You just want to come say hi. All right, bye, baby. I knew she would only stay for a moment. I don't know why. She just wanted to come say hi. And maybe that's like part of your personality. Like you might be a traveler, or you might have like many acquaintances that you pop in and out. Like maybe your life is just colorful and there's a lot of movement to it, and that's how you're meant to live. You're meant to feel like you're able to move in and out of different environments and different groups of people, and you just want to soak up everything that life has to offer you. There's such beauty, and you know that, and yeah, like there's a hunger to experience life and freedom within your being, and it's absolutely beautiful. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune, it feels like there's a huge change in your life that's creating opportunities for you to be in this free-spirited energy. And you're going to be such an inspiration for people who want to exist in this energy as well, and who don't feel that it's possible. So, I mean, things are shifting in your favor here, and you're right to go after this type of lifestyle. Six of Wands with abundance. Yeah, like you're going to inspire people for sure. You'll have everything you need. You'll feel, yeah, like the roots of that tree. Like there's this feeling of feeling safe and secure in your financial reality and in the world around you, and knowing that you'll always have your needs met, and not only in your own financial way, but in a way that feels so very connected to community, and knowing that there are people all around you all the time that are protecting you, keeping you safe, supporting you, uplifting you, feeding you literally and figuratively, feeding into your soul. I feel like I keep feeling, I mean, if like at least 50% of you aren't like wanting to travel, that would blow my mind, because it really feels like travel energy, like experiencing different cultures and seeing the beauty and humanity in each culture, and being supported and fed by each culture, and entering into and out of them, and like, because it feels very like wispy, and like new people coming in and out, and yeah, it feels really, really beautiful, like lots of diversity and color, movement, light. Yeah. Okay. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Stones, with healing. The first thing with that I thought of was like a spiritual retreat. I don't know, that just is the first thing that came to me. or being like experiencing different elements of nature, like traveling as far as going to really big like national parks or nature preserves and experiencing nature's beauty and the diversity within nature itself. So there is kind of that dichotomy between humanity and different cultures, and then different, and like nature itself, and the cultures of different of nature in different places in the world, and the diversity in that, and all of it reflecting itself and back to you and teaching you about yourself, and healing you, literally healing your soul, making you come home to yourself in new ways, recognizing parts of yourself that you never knew existed. There's this feeling of, and then like this guy, he looks like he has a spear, and it's almost like he's got his spear down and he's trusting in this nature spirit to heal him and take care of him. And it's like I've put my weapon down and I realize I can trust humanity, and it's such a beautiful thing. And so I feel more safe to be in my vulnerability. I feel more trusting of the world around me. I feel more trusting in humanity in general. Yeah, this is a shift in consciousness around your connection to like all of it, like the whole of existence and humanity, like, and your safety, your sense of safety within it. And that's not to say that we're not aware of the reality that in some places we would be unsafe, you know, and with some people we would be unsafe, but overwhelmingly we realize that people are good, and people want to help me and feed into me and love me and help me feel safe, and most people are supportive of my truest soul nature being expressed in this world. And if ever I've walked the earth where I haven't felt that way with the people around me, it's because I haven't been in the right environments, and now I am, and I'll never look back. I mean, I'll be grateful for my experiences, but I'm so grateful I found my way here, and now I get to experience this new energy where I feel more safe in general, and like more connected in a natural, effortless way with other people and with humanity in general. And I feel healed because it's like an effortless healing. It's like a healing that's more of like a dawning. It's like something that just arises within you, as opposed to, you know, healing that maybe looks more heavy, or like, it's like, I know I've walked through shadow work that's been more about looking at the darkness and looking through the darkness and observing things in a heavy way and picking things apart, and where sometimes maybe I shouldn't have. But this feels like a type of healing that's like, it's more of almost like an awakening within your being, and you just no longer have room for anything that tells you anything otherwise than this new dawning and this new truth that you've come to when it comes to your connection to other people. So beautiful. So in this case, you know, of course we're talking about, and I'm sorry, like, I know, like, the first one was a lot about abundance and money, like group number 1 in particular. But the thing is, you know, abundance looks different to everyone, and your abundant nature really looks like being a part of a community and like a citizen of the world kind of thing, and like being able to explore different aspects of yourself through experiencing other people and types of people, and allowing yourself to be light and free and childlike in a way, and curious and adventurous. That's kind of like, your abundance won't be complete without you feeling that way. So all right, so 6 of Cups. Sorry, like reunion, come on. And 6 of Cups is about soulmates. Reunion feels like I feel like you're entering into a new phase where you feel like the people that are in your life have always been meant to be there, and it's effortless and it's light, and it feels like you feel completely safe within it, and you know you're safe. Like all parts of you are on board. There are no like warning red flags. Like I'm safe here and I know I'm safe here. And there's like such a softening around the scrutinization that might have once existed. Like if you've lived and existed in a state of being where you're constantly looking for red flags, or your nervous system is on alert because you have been hurt in the past, this is a feeling of, I feel safe no matter what. And if there is ever a moment where there's someone who has the potential to hurt me, I just like naturally keep my distance, and they literally can't reach me. It's like, even if they're in the same vicinity, whatever it is that is their potential of hurting me, like in a way, like when it comes to maybe their own wounds or whatever it is, literally can't touch me. It can't hurt me because of how strong I am and supported I am by all the right people, and also there's like a lot of love there almost. It's like a feeling of, I love that person even in their that potential they hold to hurt others or me, or I'm still going to extend love and compassion, and I'm just going to trust in my natural boundaries and know that they're in place and they're impenetrable. So there's that kind of feeling. While of course we are all human and we're not necessarily impenetrable or unhurtable, that's of course not possible as like a human being on this planet. I think this is more evoking like the feeling of how you're walking the earth. You're not walking in alert. You're not walking in worry or fear. You're walking in trust. And if you do happen to get hurt, that's something you can process and heal in a healthy way. It's just like your new normal is more of trust and safety. One last tarot card. Number 13 with the journey. The 13 is the death card in tarot. So I think we're going through an ego death here. There are going to be parts of your personality that maybe you identified with before that are going to transform in ways, and you're going to have love and compassion for your past self that held different elements of your personality and in ways you related to the world, and you're going to be so like compassionately loving to that part of you that kind of had to exist in those energies, but you're just going to recognize it's not a part of who you are anymore. There are definitely things you're letting go of. Like your lifestyle's changing. Your everyday, day-to-day is changing. Like it feels like a whole new like chapter, like a whole new, or even a whole new book. Like it feels like a door is closed and a new door is blown wide open, and we're experiencing life in a very healed state, in a very whole state, and it just feels natural. And it's like that feeling of like, how did I ever fear entering into this time of my life? How did I ever fear that this wouldn't come about? Like it just feels like it was always inevitable, meeting these people or meeting this person. It feels like this was always who I was and who I was meant to embody, and it just took time to get here. And there's a lot of like natural gratitude coming through, but also acceptance of like, this is how it's meant to be. It always was. There's not this feeling of like, I mean, I think there will be those moments of gratitude where it's like a tear comes to your eye and you're just like, wow, I can't believe I get to live this life. But the ultimate feeling that I want to convey to you is there's this new normal where you feel just like grounded in it all, and it feels like you can breathe in it, and everything sings together beautifully, and it just is. And I think that's like the most precious gift you could have, to feel so safe in such a beautiful environment and around beautiful, loving people. So I love that for you. So really beautiful. I'm going to pull some tarot cards from the Tarot of Oneness. Oh, I just realized I think I forgot to pull some Animal Apothecary for group number 2. Sorry if you came from group number 2. I'll make sure I pull them in this one. I love those cards. So, okay, what else wants to come through with the Tarot of Oneness for group number 3? Oop, got one flying out here. The Ace of Swords, that came through for group number 2 too. So, interesting that I mentioned. And I was actually thinking about the Ace of Swords earlier in this reading. With that new dawning, that new colorful, and like this Ace of Swords, as I mentioned in group number 2, is a really colorful Ace of Swords. Because like when you think of the Ace of Swords, you think of like a white light in a way. I mean, I do anyway for the most part. And then with this one, I love how colorful it is. And so yeah, it's like, it's reminding me of like this new dawning, this new vision for your future, and or this new experience of your future, and this colorful, beautiful journey you're walking on. So we've got the Ten of Wands, the Two of Swords, which you have the Two of Swords as your main card. So we've got that again, and the Four of Pentacles. Kind of want to pull one more. Okay, your final tarot card is the Justice card. Interesting. Okay, I feel like we're pulling it back to present moment now. This vision that I was like explaining to you is like where you're headed. And now we're in present moment. Like there are some messages for you like right here, right now of like how are we shifting, you know, and where are we going? And there's the first message that's coming through with the Ten of Wands and this person they're like carrying a boulder up a hill. And the color of orange, again, for some reason, like with this parrot, and then that choosing your path over here, and then there are orange flowers in the Ten of Wands cards. That, for whatever reason, is popping out of me, and that has to do with the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is very connected to like how you're connecting to like your relationships and intimacy and things like that. So I just kind of wanted to mention that because it could be related to what I'm about to say, which I was mentioning. This person is carrying a boulder up a hill. Four of Pentacles over here is about like holding too tightly to things that are ready to be let go of. And so I think there are a few things that you're carrying on your shoulders, or like things that you're not really like perhaps not recognizing that you're unwilling to let go of. Like it could be a false sense of security, things that make you feel secure that are ready to be let go of. So in another way, there's a feeling of this might be where you're coming from, like a scarcity mindset, or a feeling of burden, a feeling of having to carry so much on your own shoulders, and like feeling like you have to scrape by just to get through. And it's like this type of energy blocking you from seeing your true nature, or from feeling even free enough or light enough to experience your true nature. As we've mentioned, this colorful, flexible, curious, beautiful part of you that is ready to be experienced, and you're ready to step into, to choose into. It just feels like your circumstances thus far haven't really allowed for that. So I'm definitely curious what's going on. Okay, so Two of Swords, again, is about this inner confliction and this like hesitance to make a decision. So it kind of feels like we're holding ourselves back from moving forward. But why? Why are we holding ourselves back? Like the Justice card in the center, I feel like it's like we know we need to make a change. We know we need to move forward with the Ace of Swords. Like we know it's time kind of thing. Like we've had that recognition and like dawning, that knowing. I'm curious what's going on though. It's a little confusing. I kind of feel there's like a messy feeling. There's like a confusing, messy feeling. A blurring of things, and we're unable to see clearly. And so we're not making a decision because we feel uncomfortable with making a decision from this blurry, unclear place. That's kind of the energy I'm like getting right now. Well, I'm gonna have to pull some animal apothecary just to get some clarity. I'd like to understand what this energy is and what message wants to come through here. There's something with the Justice card, but it's not hitting me quite yet. There's also like a interesting, whoa, yeah. You don't have all of the information yet, it feels like. Like, okay, like these two doors, there are two doors in this card, as you can see. And there's a green light coming through this door and a blue light coming through this door. And you're looking at these options and you're like, I'm not sure which door to walk through. There's a sense of safety here with the two black feathers of protection. But with the Ace of Swords over here in this orange color that was really speaking to me, it feels like it's okay that you haven't made a decision yet, because the dawning and the truth and the inspiration that's going to drive you forward is going to come in a more colorful way, and it's going to be more obvious, and it's going to reflect this orange color, this I don't really, I mean, like I said, this orange has to do with the sacral chakra, relationships, intimacy. It could be like a relationship or a person that you meet that helps you make decisions moving forward. And it could be your like a creative endeavor. It's I'm like, this bird is like staring at me. Like its eye is just, I'm like, maybe it has a message for me. Okay, so there's a message here that the reason why you haven't made decisions yet moving forward is because you're not seeing the path clearly enough. The path is much more colorful, much more expansive. They're like this here. All is possible. Choosing your path. You're not seeing the beauty and potential, and like you're not believing into the miracle of life that is unfolding before you and the potential that's there. So we're not like making a decision moving forward is going to come from a place of inspiration and passion and color and excitement and curiosity and all of those things we mentioned. And because you haven't been feeling that way, you haven't been making any movements, because you tend to like, I mean, the universe is kind of like getting you in a situation to where they're waiting for you to get to that point to where you can see the beauty that lies ahead and feel inspired to walk towards it. Because if you are coming up against a wall and the wall is just like black and white or gray or brown, it's because that's not the path. And there's this feeling here of you may still make the same decision moving forward, but the energy with which you make that decision is going to be different. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the energy behind it. And we need to get fully on board. And this part of us, I always like incorporate, I say we, and I don't know why. I don't know why I do that, but this part of you, like, is this fun, free, spirited, playful, colorful part of you has a say and is a part of the decision-making process, if not the decision-making process. Like the inspiration and color that drives you it's like, that's literally what's driving you. It's so interesting. Well, what's the Justice about then? Okay, let me pull a couple of these. Okay. Ooh. Okay, we got quantum jump. Wow. And that was part of my prompt, like quantum leap into your abundant nature. So there is an internal shift that wants to happen for you to jump like back into your belief in miracles and back into your belief in your dreams come true and back into the highest, limitless, most craziest potential of your life and envision what is truly possible for you. Like the universe wants you to go there, you know? And if you've been disappointed in the past, it's like, just let it go, you know? Let it go and know that it just wasn't time. And you have this, you know, you have the Wheel of Fortune as one of your major arcanas, and the Wheel of Fortune is about divine timing, and it feels like it is time to make this leap, and it's into this future you've always envisioned, and none of it's ever gone away. Like, you still get to have everything you want. So get on board. Let's go. Let's do this, you know? I'm still curious about this Justice card. Like, what's going on there? Surrender to receive. Okay, and then we have an otter with a number 2, which is cute because the otters did make me think of like a couple, like, you know how they, like, the 2 otters like hold hands in the water. And yeah, there could be some of you, there could be a person that helps you with this journey, comes into your life and changes things for you and inspires you and helps you see what's possible. And it's like, it's almost like partner in crime energy. Like, oh, someone else like believes that life can be fun. Oh, like, now I can actually, like, it's like someone gave you permission to, yeah. And that's kind of almost what the Justice card feels like. It's like you are like worried if you have permission to really live this way. Like, is this irresponsible? Is this something that, you know, like, I'm not a grown-ass adult if I'm being so free and optimistic? And it's like, no, that's absolutely bollocks. Is there any like British people here? Because I think I said like chucked, like I chucked something. I feel like I'm like speaking like in British phrases a little bit. But yeah, like that's bollocks. That's just like, no, we are meant to be happy on this life and in this life. And what else is life for other than freedom and happiness and joy? So that's what you're headed for, and you are worthy of it, and there's no other shoe that will drop. I think that's what this Justice card, it's almost like a worry that I'm gonna like I'm like shirking responsibility, like I'm doing something wrong by like enjoying my life, and that's just societal bullshit that's been ingrained in you, and it's absolute bollocks. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pull a couple cards from the Faceted Garden, and then that we will call that a reading. Okay, we have animal allies. That's cool. It's interesting. And I just want to look because, okay, so we have a moth, we have a zebra, a tiger, and a lamb. Just wanted to mention those if any of those had any type of symbolism for you. Animal allies. There's just like an instinctual energy that's going to be coming through you in your next chapter. Very like strong connection to the earth, to like, yeah, like your it sounds kind of weird, but like your animalistic nature, but not in like a brutal way or in, you know, in any negative way, but it's like a recognition of oneness with all that is, and a recognition of your like dependency on the ecosystem around you, and like how you're just a part of it all. You're not, there's no hierarchy. We're just a part of all this, and it's a playground, and it's like living in instinct and living in your gut, and living in like a visceral awareness of the pleasure and beauty and pain, and like every bit, like a present moment, like how animals are, like a presence with what is. And most of that is an experience of bliss. And while it's not all bliss, of course, most of it is. And then I'm also thinking of when animals have that like flight or fight like response, and like, for instance, in this we have like predator and prey, we have a tiger, we have a zebra, you know, we have a lamb, but like when a lion is chasing a gazelle, and the gazelle's instinct kicks on to run away and get away, and then once it is away from the lion and it's safe, the gazelle shakes it off and then goes right back into living in that blissful state. And so that part of you that's able to just like recognize a threat when it's there and activate and protect yourself, and then be able to have the courage to just shake it off and still live in bliss and trust. You know, that's kind of the vibe. It's like, I'm only here once, and I want to just be here fully with what is and with what it means to be human. And I'm connected to all of this, and it's an adventure, and it's a joy, and it's an ever unfolding path, and full of color and highs and lows and beauty, and it's just, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm grounded in it. So really beautiful. I think this is your reading group number 3. I don't want to leave your energy because it's so nice. But yeah, this is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored to channel these messages for you. If you'd like to support my channel, you can like, comment, or subscribe. I also have a Patreon where I offer 2 in-depth pick a flower readings every month, along with 1 infinite prayer, guided visualization, and Reiki blessing, if you'd like to check that out, or if you feel called to that. I have merchandise with my bee and flowers logo with the phrase "Hello, lovely human" on it. It's adorable. If that sounds interesting to you, there's a link down below for that. You can leave me a tip / buy me a coffee. I'm so appreciative of anything you have to offer in exchange for these free readings. I also offer personal readings if you're interested in those. Sometimes they're available and sometimes they're not. If you can just check the link down below to see if I do have any of those. I have other infinite prayer sessions if you feel called to any of those. And lastly, I have another YouTube channel. It is called Soul Hearken. It's my heart and soul in video form if you're interested in heading over there and seeing what I got going on over there. So alrighty, thank you so much for being here. I hope I see you in another reading. Bye.